Hello, my friends. Hello, and welcome once again to Stately Vaughan Manor, where Roger and I have returned for the book of the week. It's time to talk about the book of the week, which is that thrilling program where I just grab some random book that's lying around here at the manor and talk about it. And today I've got a fun one to talk about because it's Star Trek. It's Star Trek, the classic episodes. Classic episodes. I love Star Trek. I've been watching Star Trek since I was a toddler. And I was very happy to see this book at Barnes & Noble back in 2016, I think, is when this particular book came out. So what this book is it has a bunch of the episodes that were adapted by James Blish and put in this fancy pants hardcover edition. James Blish originally did a series of 12 books where he adapted the original Star Trek episodes. He was given a pile of scripts and asked to turn them into short stories so that they could put them in these books. Starting with this one, Star Trek, A Chilling Journey Through Worlds Beyond Imagination. James Blish, who was an accomplished science fiction writer, was asked to do this. Although, at the point where he was asked to do it, he had never seen Star Trek, which makes for some interesting reading. These are tremendously entertaining and fast-paced. So this is, 140 pages? 136 pages, this original book. And it has 7 Star Trek episodes in it. So you can imagine how quickly paced these stories are. But they're really entertaining and well done. Despite the fact that James Blish had never seen the show, which leads to some oddities when you're reading the stories, there was a lot of information about Star Trek that just did not exist back here at the time. So, a lot of these stories, they don't fit in with, established Star Trek canon as far as some of the details are concerned. But that's okay. That's, it is what it is. But they were fun and they sold like crazy. So this did end up being a set of 12 books. And for the longest time, it was the only way you could get your Star Trek fix, because Star Trek, of course, was canceled after 3 seasons. This first book came out when Star Trek was still on the air, but a lot of the books came out when Star Trek was already off the air. And so if you wanted, to experience Star Trek, and this is, remember, back in the days before VCRs or streaming or any of that stuff, is back in the dinosaur days back then. And you either waited for the show to come on, as a rerun on syndication, or, you got a book. And this was an awesome series of books to have. And I really love this original artwork for the cover, which was done, I think, I think it was a promotional piece of artwork that they used for the paperback cover. And I'm glad they did, because it's awesome. So anyway, they put a bunch of those episodes from that series of books and put them in here. They didn't put all the episodes in here. Otherwise, this would be like a 3-volume set or something, which I would like. That would be awesome if they would do that. But I was happy enough with this when I saw it. And it's very, very pretty. Look at that. There's the Enterprise on the back. That's really, really cool. The end papers are awesome. We got the guys there. No Uhura or Scotty, unfortunately. But, Captain Kirk, Dr. McCoy, Sulu, and, of course, Spock. So that's awesome. The end papers are awesome. And on the back end papers, we've got the Enterprise itself, which is fantastic. So it's a beautiful, beautiful book. The way they have it divided up is interesting. They start off with a note on the text, to talk about James Blish and how he adapted these episodes. We have an introduction by Norman Spinrad, and it starts off with the menagerie, also known as the cage. So it was the pilot for Star Trek. So it starts off with the pilot. And then it goes on with the season, starting at season 1 in the order that the episodes were originally broadcast, which is different than how they were in the paperback books. They were just kind of random in the paperback books. But this does it in the order that the episodes were broadcast. So we have season 1, which has a lot of episodes. We have season 2. Season 3, we don't have as many episodes in this book as the other seasons, probably because season 3 wasn't as good altogether. But this has all of the major Star Trek episodes in it, like the ones you remember from watching the show. We've got Arena, we've got Court Martial, The Naked Time, Devil in the Dark, City on the Edge of Forever, of course. Season 2, we've got Amok Time, Mirror Mirror, The Doomsday Machine. I mean, all of these, of course, The Trouble with Tribbles, all of these great episodes. And the way it's presented is, if you look at the titles there, it'll give you the writers of the original episodes, the director, and when it first aired. Charlie's Law, also known as Charlie X, that's how it was aired, was aired September 15th, 1966. So it gives you that. I'm surprised to see James Blish's name is not more prominent on here, which it should be. Like, the title page is just that. But they do, of course, talk about James Blish, and a note on the text talking about how James Blish adapted the episodes. I would have expected his name to be more prominent, like I said, but for some reason it's not. But it's an awesome book to have. It looks lovely on the shelf, and it's a little piece of Star Trek history, because those books, they were kind of important to Star Trek fans when they came out. And they do make entertaining reading. So this is a cool Star Trek item to have if you like the show as much as I do. Of course, this series of 12 books was just the beginning. There are a million I think there might literally be a million Star Trek books that have been published, Roger. But this original set, these were the first ones. And, well, actually there was a kid's book that came out before that. But those were other than that, those were the first ones. And this is just a beautiful presentation of it. And it's an awesome thing. So there you go. That is my book of the week. Catch me on Monday when I will return for another thrilling episode of my weekly reading report. And I guess that's all I got. All right. We'll catch you next time.